Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results in your neighborhood. Now it's 6:30.
Good evening. This is News 6 at 6:30, Getting Results. Thank you for joining us here live on News 6 Plus. I'm Lewis Bolden, in for Ginger Gatz.
Glad to have you with us tonight. You. I'm Matt Austin. Let's get to your 7-day forecast right off the bat, Jonathan.
Hey, we have some more heat, guys, over the next few days. Obviously hot today, hitting around 90. We're at 90 degrees tomorrow. 90 degrees on Saturday. We're going to jump into the lower 90s on Sunday. Likely hottest days of the year coming, at least to date. We'll know we'll blow past those numbers later on in the summer. We're in the low to mid 90s on Sunday and Monday. 20% shot for rain coming through as we move through the day on Monday. Better chance later on Monday and into Tuesday. You're also going to notice something on the 7-day. Much cooler air to follow as we get into the early stages of next work week. And that cooler air, relatively speaking anyway, going to stick around towards the end of the work week at least. We're going to pinpoint that further and talk about the timeline for some more much needed rain in Central Florida coming up at about 6:47, guys.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. It's a market nightmare the day after President Donald Trump unveiled some new tariffs as a part of his trade policy. That political math equals the biggest single-day loss for the S&P 500 since 2020. Remember how bad that was? And look at the Dow dropping more than 1,600 points today. So just how much could President Trump's vast new tariffs on foreign countries impact us here in Central Florida?
Well, that is the big question our News 6's James Sparvero is asking today as he goes to where all of those important imports we use every day come into our region, Port Canaveral.
It makes most of its money from the cruise ships, but Port Canaveral also calls itself Central Florida's gateway to global commerce. Now, with President Trump's tariffs on all international imports,
it's our declaration of economic independence.
I'm here wondering how our local economy could be impacted. I got started by asking if the port's leadership wants to talk about how the new tariffs will impact you, like the price at the pump. Petroleum is the biggest import here, and the port says its gas, which is delivered all over our region, comes from around the world. Same with lumber. Who could forget during COVID when the price skyrocketed, when it seemed like everybody was building a house? The port also just got this huge shipment of wood pulp, which is used to make paper products, from Sweden, offloading more than 8,000 tons. The port says it was one of its largest wood pulp deliveries ever. So ultimately, the port told me they think it's too early to speculate if the cost of living is going to go up even more. But here at the port, having lunch at Seafood Atlantic, I found Mary and Philip. They live in Cape Canaveral like me. How are you guys reacting to the president's tariffs?
I think it's time that we put tariffs in because it has worked against us for so many years. Would I say maybe in moderation? Yes, but I think ultimately it will help the United States of America.
So it sounds like you folks trust when the president says a tariff is a tax on a country, not the consumer like yourselves.
Even though I've never voted for Mr. Trump, I do trust his economics because I think he's a wise person, a good businessman.
After President Trump imposed the tariffs, our reporter Mike Valenti talked to an economics professor who had a much different opinion than the local couple I met.
You're making it even more expensive for people who create jobs and serve customers and who buy goods and services.
Through just the first few months of the year, the port says it's already taken in a total of more than 2 million tons of cargo. In Brevard County, I'm James Sparvero, Getting Results, News 6.
It is unbelievable how many things are shipped in here, and it would be interesting to talk to the leadership over there at the Cape. Hopefully we can get that on the books soon.
You know, with so many of these things, we're really just going to have to wait and see, and time
That's right.
will tell us all we need to know. Well, in the last 5 years, thousands more people have moved to Marion Oaks. And with that growth comes the need for more construction, especially transportation projects. Right now, the Florida Department of Transportation is working on improving the interchange where I-75 and Highway 484 meet.
A News 6 viewer contacted us on the News 6 help desk at clickorlando.com. He wanted to know more about the timeline there, so our own Catherine Silver got answers.
Hey, Lawrence. We met Lawrence DeGraw in Marion Oaks so we could see what he put in writing to News 6 in person. So you really reached out to us because you're looking for a status update. We found out it's been 2 years.
Here's an example of a left turn lane. Everybody in this lane wants to go left.
And while this construction will eventually extend the turn lanes and ultimately improve traffic at the I-75 interchange,
It backs up like this. Imagine this going in the other direction, trying to get on I-75 north.
DeGraw says right now it's a mess.
This is the key. This is the problem right here.
FDOT says the improvements DeGraw is waiting for should be done this fall. And a companion project, the resurfacing of 75 down to the county line, should also finish this year.
And more construction coming. More. Who knows what it is it's going to be.
These days, the driving force behind the construction is the crowds.
We had the flow of people who came down south during COVID, and now when we're seeing pressures along the coastal areas when it comes to insurance and other costs, so they're moving inland.
Kenneth Wheerock is the Deputy Director of Growth Services, a whole department that's purpose is to plan ahead. The county shared this list of nearly 50 of their own transportation projects for just the Southwest Quadrant. When you see that list, it really shows you just how many projects are needed.
Yes, and then we probably need more than what we are able to work on at the moment, but we're seeing about 10 to 15,000 people a year move to Marion County.
That's 10 to 15,000 every year for the last 3 to 5 years. People who need somewhere to live, somewhere to work, and a way to get there.
There are other developments around Marion Oaks that are also developing, which creates, I guess, intensifies the feeling of rapid growth out there.
For people like DeGraw, that feeling is a reality.
My wife's mom lives here in Marion Oaks. She's 90. Well, you know, when somebody's 90, you want to check on them every day. It used to take us 9 minutes to get over here if there was an emergency. Now it's like a half hour.
It's all growing pains, right?
I guess so.
That pain also comes with the promise of a smoother ride ahead. Wheerock says it also brings more businesses, more jobs, more conveniences. What they're really building is a community.
The better we manage it, the better it will be.
You would be happier if there was just more updates.
That would be nice.
Well, thanks for reaching out to News 6.
Thank you.
Catherine Silver, Getting Results, News 6.
Yeah, it just feels like once they get one project done, they start the next one, and you just feel like you're in this never-ending cycle, right?
It does seem that way sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's Central Florida. Well, it's Central Florida's #1 news website, clickorlando.com, so let's see what's trending. Forecasters at Colorado State University released their prediction for the 2025 hurricane season. It's always top of mind for Floridians, and especially after Hurricane Helene damaged communities across the southeast. An average season consists of 14 named storms.
But the university expects 17 named storms this year, 9 of which are predicted to become hurricanes, with 4 of those becoming major. That means they would be at least Category 3 storms and have winds of 111 miles per hour.
I always get a little anxious when those predictions come out, but Jonathan told me to chill, so I'm going to try to do that.
Yeah, because really, what can we do about it? We just have to take the numbers and see, and it doesn't always go as high as they think.
That's true. Let's hang on to that. Yeah. And here are some of the other trending stories right now over on clickorlando.com. For the second year in a row, Omo is one of the finalists for the James Beard Award for Best New Restaurant. The Japanese-French restaurant in Winter Park is among the 9 finalists this year from across the country. Check out the menu at clickorlando.com.
Have you been to Omo? I haven't been there.
I haven't either.
It sounds really good. And I don't like random, it's national days. In fact, I hate them. With that, our producer still decided to put it in. It is National Burrito Day, and that means burrito deals across Central Florida. Click Orlando features spots offering discounts and BOGOs. So even though I hate these days with a burning white hot passion, I do like free burritos. Well, it's a local event that brings some big stars into our area every year.
That's right, and there's one man who keeps coming back time and time again to get results for people dealing with cerebral palsy. The reason RJ Mitty never misses the UCP Celebrity Poker Tournament.
And don't let the flashy lights fool you. There's a real tradition of community at the Pinball Lounge in Oviedo. The owners who continue to promote a common love for these machines.
You're watching News 6 at 6:30 live on News 6 Plus. We're getting results in Edgewood, Cocoa, and all of Central Florida. We're back in just a moment.
Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Your Thursday evening traffic alert. We're going to see lane closures north and southbound along the Florida Turnpike, but we see them every day, so just make sure you're paying attention, with those southbound ones being a little extra heavy than the other ones. Turnpike lane closures. We'll also see lane closures here along the State Road 417 from Lake Jessup all the way down into Orange County. I'm Trooper Steve with News 6 Traffic Alert. Drive safely. I'll catch you in the morning.
When News 6 hits the road, we always like to look for hidden gems in the community, and that's exactly what we found in Oviedo. Tucked away off Broadway Street inside this very nondescript building that houses the Oviedo Bowling Center is one of the largest working collections of pinball machines in Central Florida.
It's called the Pinball Lounge. It's been drawing people from all over the world to Oviedo for the past decade, so you know News 6's Lisa Bell had to check it out.
Hi, I'm Ed Clamp.
And I'm Kurt Van Zyl.
And welcome
to the Pinball Lounge.
This is amazing. What do we have in here?
Well, you're looking at games that start from as early as 1976 all the way to games that came out literally just a few months ago.
Nearly 50 machines spanning nearly 50 years.
She's going to love showing you
All
this
right,
one.
yes. Best game in here.
This one?
Yes.
Why is that?
You ask anybody that comes in here on a regular basis, they will point to 8-Ball Deluxe. What you're doing is you're hitting drop targets, but it's a very satisfying game. It's very, hush. But
Owners Kurt and Ed have another 200 machines in storage.
And
you're rotating them out regularly.
Yes. Oh yeah, constantly.
Why do you do that? Why do you rotate
it keeps
them
it
out?
fresh.
We have big reveals.
Oh.
We have a special curtain, if you will, or blanket, so you can bring it through the door and go whoosh. And then the blanket comes off and everyone's like, whoa! Yeah. We bring machines in and people will be hugging the machines because they're so
Really?
into, yes.
Okay,
and
now,
taking
do all
selfies
these-
with them. And
Is it people who live in Oviedo, or who's coming here to play these machines?
all over.
From Germany to Denmark, even Japan. How did this get started for you guys, collecting pinball machines?
Well, I've been into it since I was a child. My dad had a pinball machine when he was a kid, and I ended up getting one for Christmas. I know Kurt has got his first pinball machine as a child as well.
Also for Christmas.
Also for Christmas,
This
yeah.
was like the epic Christmas gift.
Absolutely.
These are remakes of machines from the 90s. These are some of the best machines ever made.
Two kids who grew up in different times in different cities, but shared a common love for these machines and would ultimately lead to a chance encounter.
So I was looking in the classifieds in the newspaper, Orlando Sentinel, for used pinball machines, and an ad came up for back glasses. That's the artwork on the back of the machine here. And my mom took me to this lady's flower shop in downtown Orlando. She handed me a phone number, and she said, hey, this guy Ed really likes pinball too. You should give him a call. And here we are. That was 1997.
Jaws, this is an extremely popular game.
The two became fast friends, and fast forward to 2015, they decided to do something with all the machines they had collected over the years.
And we met up. Hey, Kurt, how you been? I haven't seen you in a while. You know what we ought to do? We ought to open up our own spot. And everybody keeps talking about doing this. Nobody does it. So we grabbed 14 games, we put them in here, made sure that they were in good shape, and people started coming in.
Today they host several league tournaments and statewide pinball tournaments with plans to expand, giving people of all ages and abilities something to aim for.
For your first time, you got all the pool balls down, I'd say that's fine. I think you should join the ladies of the lounge.
Lisa Bell, Getting Results, News 6.
All the hidden gems out there.
All right,
Love
man.
it.
I'd be curious if I asked my wife, hey, we're going to get married at the Pinball Lounge, what she would say to me.
I'm going to guess that probably wouldn't go well.
I don't know if we'd be married, to be honest with you.
I mean, she likes pinball.
She would have to love some pinball.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Jonathan, what about this weather? What are we doing?
Well, I mean, it's...
Why are you laughing like that?
Okay, I think it's too hot right now.
Me too.
I agree with you.
I know where we live, I get it, but...
What's the average this time of year?
81.
Yeah, so
much
we're
more.
way over.
We're way
You know.
over, yeah. We're about 10 degrees above where we should be. We'll continue to keep that rolling through the weekend. We've already had those sea breeze thunderstorms come through already. It's not uncommon for that to happen, but nonetheless, it's a little toasty. It's not the start of summer just yet anyway. We are going to be talking about cooler air coming down the pipeline. Once we get into the on the other side of the weekend, we'll stick around for that. We'll show you that in the 7-day forecast. Couple of stray itty-bitty downpours out there, just 2 on the map for you. This rolled through parts of Apopka, especially on the east side of the 429. Stray sprinkle heading your way in Sorrento. Otherwise, that's likely going to fizzle out by the time it gets there. It'll last a second or two if it holds together, but all of those drying up as we speak right now. We could use the rain, of course, even with the rain we got on Sunday, even with the rain we had on Tuesday. That's what I have for you in the drought monitor. This is updated every Thursday by the United States Department of Agriculture, and the rainfall amounts go through Tuesday. So again, that's the rain up until Tuesday that this includes, and you still see the severe drought, and that actually expanded into parts of western Volusia County, still holding on to a severe drought in parts of Lake County, especially Leesburg, into Eustis, Mount Dora, and then into Bushnell, Coleman, Lake Panasoffkee, and Sumter County as well. Most of Central Florida still resides in a moderate drought this evening. 87 in Leesburg, 83 in DeLand, 81 in Daytona Beach. We're at 80 in Palm Coast. Now here's a look at your pinpoint accurate forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by the Florida Lottery.
Muggy night tonight. The mosquitoes certainly out already, hanging around 70 degrees when you wake up tomorrow morning. That's also about 10 degrees above where we should be for this time of the year. Average tomorrow jumps to 82, so we are climbing that ladder in the average high temperature department. We're right around 90 in Orlando, 91 in Groveland, 87 in Holopop, back to Kenansville. We're at 83 degrees in Mico. Temperatures over the next few days going to continue to rise out ahead of our next system. So we're going to fast forward beyond the weekend now. We're dry for the most part through the weekend. That's 9 o'clock on your Monday morning. This is along a cold front. The rain you see here, the brighter yellows and oranges and reds indicate where we're going to have some thunderstorms trying to build as we move into late Monday night and then early into Tuesday morning as that front sags south. Now behind this front, that's what's going to give us much, much cooler air. The darker the blue on this map, the higher the confidence level for below normal temperatures. And there we go. We talked about being 10 degrees above. We'll likely be about 5 to 10 degrees below normal in the temperature department once we get into the Monday and Tuesday, or the Tuesday and Wednesday behind that system. So here we go. We're warm, very warm through the weekend. 92 degrees even on Sunday, 92 on Monday. And then there's that system that increases our rain chances again to 60% on Tuesday, especially for the first half of the day. Highs on Tuesday only in the mid-70s. We're back to the mid-70s on Wednesday. We're staying in the 70s by Thursday. So it's going to be nice and comfortable beyond this weekend, guys.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Well, public art can add character to a community. That's the thought from city leaders in Oviedo.
Well, you can find murals all over town. News 6's Julie Broughton spoke with the artist behind some of them.
I think that at the end of the day, everybody is inherently an artist and has the right to call themselves that.
Art can be a tool for self-discovery.
It can be very intimidating just looking at a white canvas, like, what am I gonna do?
Learning about your subject as well as yourself.
The sketching stage is always really exciting because it's like filling in the edges of a map.
Put brush to canvas and see where it takes you.
I've been using a lot of like blues, indigos. Lots of paint mixing happens here, so.
Xavier Moss is on a journey of color.
There's just something about an insanely fluorescent color.
His images jump off the canvas in more ways than one.
The image of like the lamb that comes up a lot throughout scripture, stomping on a snake down here.
He works in a style he calls Bibliological illustration,
which is a fusion of natural history in the context of scripture.
The Oviedo artist also plays a big part in a growing public arts initiative right here in Oviedo. His vibrant colors light up the city.
I think it can make Oviedo a place that people want to go check out.
By now, you've probably seen his postcard mural here at Center Lake Park. He also has one at Round Lake Park recognizing African American history in the area, and there are a few more at the Aquatic Center. Murals by Moss and other artists dot the city.
I think it just makes our community better.
Kathleen Crane is chair of the Public Arts Board. She says it's not just murals. The board is trying to bring in more sculptures, interactive art, and even live performances to the city. Here are some photos from an opera performance earlier this year.
I think success is a variety of projects that bring something or more of something to the city that we don't have already. that touches as many people in the community as possible.
Moss says the murals continue to leave an impression on him as well.
It's too exhausting to try and make my art look like somebody else's and not just lean into my own style. So it was kind of after those that I really started like leaning into this aesthetic.
And much like his paintings, Moss has faith the future of public art in Oviedo is bright.
If you are creative in Oviedo, get involved in seeing like where can we make more art happen. Go out of your way to, you know, make some art, make something beautiful.
Good stuff. That artwork is beautiful.
You know, it is so nice to see the focus on local artists. That's really cool.
It's true.
And if you'd like to support the arts in Oviedo, the board is selling these commemorative postcards. They're all designs submitted by local artists and residents of Oviedo.
Yeah, I really like that big chicken art that they have in Center Lake Park there. It's beautiful. That must have taken a long time. I'm going to be back out in Oviedo tomorrow live at a very popular spot in the neighborhood. I'm just going to be swimming in barbecue. You're also, we're going to show you a resource that's back open years after Hurricane Ian. Join us tomorrow on News 6, News 6 Plus, streaming app for your smart TV. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
Coming up in the morning, staying safe behind the wheel.
How some are now turning to technology on their phones to try and get results, and how it could save you money at the same time.
Plus your pinpoint weather and traffic every 10 minutes. We'll see it for News 6 mornings starting at 5.
Central Florida is gearing up for a fun weekend of giving back. UCP of Central Florida is getting ready for a celebrity poker tournament.
Meteorologist Michelle Morgan talked with some of the big stars coming to town, including R.J. Mitty, best known for his role in Breaking Bad, about the event and raising awareness for cerebral palsy.
I think the number one for me is that your disability is not a disability. It's knowledge, it's power, it's an opportunity. Don't let the perceptions of someone else dictate who you are or what you're going to become. And I think for me, in life, we're always placed in boxes, especially in acting. They literally cast us because we look a certain way or we talk a certain way. And in reality, no one fits in a box. And so get out there, be seen, show people who you are. And I think through advocacy and through volunteering and through that lead by example, being that positive example, hopefully can make a difference.
You can find the full interview on clickorlando.com. Michelle and Julie Broughton will join RJ and the crew as celebrity guests for the poker tournament. They're what you call dead money at a poker table. Julie and Michelle, I don't think they play a lot of poker. The tournament is tomorrow, followed by a gala on Saturday. Tickets are on sale now if you're interested.
And I don't want to put Michelle on blast, but they had a really good time at that event last year, and it did not have anything to do with the poker.
Oh, okay. They just had fun either way, even though they lost.
Well, thanks for watching News 6 at 6:30. Stream News 6 online anytime on our News 6 Plus Smart TV app.
Remember, we break news at clickorlando.com. Have yourself a great night. I'll see you at 11.
If you're one of the 8 in 10 people struggling with back pain, you know how debilitating it can be. Wouldn't it be great if there was a place you could go, see top professionals the same day you had the pain? Well, it would be, and now it is, thanks to the Orlando Health Spine Center. Joining us now to tell us all about it is Dr. Cheyenne Armagani from the Spine Center. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
If a patient comes to you and they're complaining of back pain, what's the first thing you do if it's not obvious what the problem is?
Yeah, the first thing that we try to do is we try to see if they have any radiating symptoms that go down the legs, generally known as sciatica. That gets us worried about if there could be a pinched nerve, perhaps. But regardless if a patient has a pinched nerve or just a back pain episode, if the duration of symptoms is less than 6 weeks, we always start with physical therapy and an anti-inflammatory medication to get them moving. Motion is what's going to help them get over the acute episode, and 80% of the time, patients are better by the time they see us again in about a month.
It's really a collaboration between neuroscience and orthopedics, because it's one problem is the issue itself, the second problem is the pain that comes along with it.
Absolutely, and that's what we wanted to really do here at Orlando Health, is we wanted to create a center that's the first of its kind within the state of Florida, where we're able to have all of the different subspecialties under one roof to get patients where they need to go as quickly as possible. So we have same day and next day appointments for those patients that you talked about that may have been playing golf and threw out their back and they need to see somebody.
Dr. Neil Patel now joining us from the Orlando Health Neuroscience Institute. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So you collaborate with orthopedic specialists like Dr. Armagani because the problem of back pain is twofold. There's the issue that's causing it, and then there's the pain that results from it. So having, a really tight pain management system in place for your patients is incredibly important. What are some of the treatments that you're utilizing today?
Yeah, so it's great to have an all-in-one institute, right? Especially with our orthopedic surgeons, our neurosurgeons. So traditionally, we've always relied on injections, and injections can have 2 different flavors. They can call stem cells or regenerative medicine, which are taken from your own body and injected to any part. Helps regenerate. It's more of a restorative. We also use steroids. Steroids have been around for many, many years and they work well, whether it's injections around the spine, the neck, wherever it may be. Then we also go into something called a radiofrequency ablation. So that's essentially taking heat to any sensory nerve or only feeling nerve that we have in the body. It disrupts that communication so you don't feel the pain as much.
It's another reason to choose well with Orlando Health. And if you would like more information, you can visit orlandohealth.com/spine center.